going in the house. This is what I think of whenever I think about the farm years and years ago before the house was here. And this is actually where Mom and George's trailer was, and even, I think even Nanny and Pawpaw's trailer before they got the houses built. So they sort of hung out in this area. Of course, we used to sit out on this patio more. This is one of the first things that went up. It's not been used in a while, obviously. So it's mostly decorative now. But we used to use that thing, if you can believe it. My first time that I can remember coming to the farm was a really long time ago, when all of the fields and everything were still sort of grown over. Nobody was living here at the time. So all of this wasn't cleared like it is now. And I was brought out here to go hunting. There's actually a little driveway up the way a little ways there, that back in that day, even that driveway was still open. So that was about the only thing you could really get into with a vehicle back then, because again, all this wasn't cleared. And we pull the truck up into that little area and we go hunting out here. I stayed in the car while other people hunted. I was really young though, and probably not quiet enough to take hunting. So.
First time I ever went to the farm was when we went on that faithful trip and Mom shot the snake. Mom and Corey shot the snake.
There are 38 357 shells. And this is a 38 special. And you call these shells rat shot because they're there to kill smaller things. We always keep it safe even when we need it.
We'd gone down there to bust up beaver dams, and we did go out and do that, but on the way out we ran into a couple of water moccasins, and Mom, not being a fan of snakes, decided to shoot them.
Mom, where's that?
Right there, see its tail?
Are you gonna shoot it? No,
Tell her to come back out here and look at me for a minute and then go.
I don't want to talk to no snakes.
Oh, there he is. Back up, back up.
Is it dead?
I know where he's at. He's not coming back this way.
And I hit him good.
Yeah, I saw his head explode.
Oh, I didn't see you hit him. I just something.
I don't know, but he's in the water. Because remember that hole right there, Corey?
Yeah. I didn't actually think you'd ever actually have to shoot a snake with that thing. Mama, I really don't want to be here no more if we're really going to encounter snakes today.
We were going to clear beaver dams for the creek that was going to run through. That was before even either of the houses were built. It was all pretty much woods. We were going out to clear beaver dams. That wasn't the time that Mom and Casey shot the snakes, or Corey shot the snake. It wasn't that time, it was the time before. Mom had her 38 special with rat shots in it. Thank goodness we didn't see any, because if we did see any snakes, I would probably be clear across Clay County.
To begin with, and they dropped this really big one. And then they started taking their tails and kicking this mud up on this bank.
Like you're currently doing.
Yes. But what I'm going to do is try to kick the mud over this. Or make a
Think
hole.
we'd be able to get the starter log out?
Mom?
That would help immensely.
Mama?
Yes.
With all the debris that's down further that way, it's just going to dam up further down.
Yes, and they may possibly have done that.
Casey, you conquered the snake.
I conquered the snake! Hurrah for me!
There's another one.
Yeah, we came with Jessica and we went to see the farm and the jacuzzi. So we ran around in the rain, topless, and played in the jacuzzi, and Mama made us Coke floats.
First thing, I got to see Poncho. I had heard stories about him, and I honestly didn't believe Charlie Ray that his horns were that long, but they were. And I got to meet Mom. I didn't get to meet George. I didn't meet George until his dad's funeral, which is kind of foreboding. But I mean, Katie met everybody at your grand's funeral, so
Yeah,
must
true.
run in the family, right?
Right.
So I met Mom, met Nanny and Pawpaw. We ate dinner at Nanny and Pawpaw's house, and they just welcomed me like family. Like Pawpaw, he's never met a stranger, so he just gave me a hug, and I'm like, I feel at home.
First time I ever took Katie to the farm was when Nanny and Pawpaw's house was the only house there. and it's way back in the woods of Clay County. And Katie and I had just started dating, and I think that was the trip that when Gran passed, and we had gone out to the farm to visit with Nanny and Papa a little bit, but we turned onto the driveway, and with no lights on the house at this point, I said, "We're here," and Katie goes, "We're where?" I think she was pretty much thinking that this was the part where the rednecks have driven her out into the woods and her body will never be found.
Now this is just a fun spot because we can never resist playing poo sticks when we pass over this bridge. So I think Jennifer and I should find some quick little sticks and play one more round just cuz, right? So let's see if we can find something laying about. Me and Jen. All right, you ready?
Don't let go of the camera.
Yes, don't let go of the camera. It is waterproof, but we don't want to touch it.
We don't want to have to go in there after it though.
All right, holding them at about the same. You want me to just drop them both?
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. All right, let's go.
The thing I really liked about the farm was that you could get away from everything. Like, I think I probably could have gotten a text message or something like that, but I always just put my phone on airplane mode. I couldn't get any text messages or calls. It was either relaxing or working.
Over time, the farm became a little oasis out in the middle of the woods there in Clay County, and it's kind of become a place for us to go to visit family, to rest, relax, rejuvenate. And how we do that usually is by working hard and playing hard.
Yep.
All right, this is the footbridge. Another one of my favorites because it's a fun place to get across the creek when you're going back and forth with Nanny and Papa's. Fun fact about this bridge, Kitty does not back up when she's on this bridge. She only goes one way or the other. Well, one day, Nanny and Kitty met on the bridge, going opposite directions. Your classic example of an immovable object and an unstoppable force. Well, wouldn't you believe that Nanny just sort of hip-checked Kitty right off into the creek. I think you could believe it. Because Nanny wasn't going to turn around, and neither was Kitty. Neither one of them were turning around. So one of them was going to have to end up in the creek, and it was Kitty that day. Poor Kitty.
When I go to the farm, my eyesight gets better. Because I don't think I take my glasses every time, but I don't think I wear them at all the entire time I'm there.
There's a time that John filmed Ricky telling his stories for the world to see.
And I said, man, I got out to the truck and realized that I was probably amongst some of the smartest people I've been around in a long time. I said, don't this many intelligent people get together one time? And I said, and I got thinking, maybe one of y'all can tell me what this is. Well, they all just gathered all around me. So I just reached up, unsnapped the duffel bag, checkout counter there, and I just went. When I did, that alligator hit that counter, his mouth came up. They went every direction. They went out both doors. The fellow behind the counter jumped out, hit the cigarette, spent the cigarette falling down in the thing. He was scrambling around. Another one hit the tater chip rack, had it hung around his foot, and he was running across the parking lot, throwing tater chips everywhere. Another one hit the Coca-Cola box, and he was sitting there rocking like that. And I said, Lord have mercy. I said, this is a good joke gone bad here. I said, what am I going to do? Looked, and the alligator was still laying on the counter. He just laying there. I said, whoo. So I just reached over and slapped his mouth too, slipped him back in the duffel bag, snapped it up, started out the door like nothing even happened. There's a fellow out there pumping gas, and the one about to go, and he whirled around, and he spread out on that thing. He started hollering, Lord, please, God, don't shoot me, please don't shoot. I didn't see nothing. I swear I didn't see nothing. He thought I had robbed that service station, and I was coming out of there with a case of Falstaff, a carton of Cool, a pack of 20s and a Uzi submachine gun. He just knew he was gonna be next. And I walked by and I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, "Have a nice day." He just wilted, just slid down that, just like he just puddled up.
Mostly just hanging out with everybody. Because usually when I was there, usually when I was there, like one of the two of y'all was there. Playing with the pupper dogs was always fun, especially whenever Blaze was a burnt piece of toast.
Meeting Poncho, definitely, with our first round trip. The Indian runners are one of my favorites. So, fancy running ducks. A couple of days ago, I got 2 feet from catching them. Then we got to spend the night in the musty room with the duck eggs while they're incubating. We were getting a dead limb down. We used bow and arrows to tie it off. And then we pulled it with the truck to get it down. But then the limb almost fell on Pawpaw while he was driving the truck back. But we got it down and nobody got hurt.
Sounds like typical Pawpaw.
Having the excuse to go into nature and not be bothered by anybody. Oh, the screeching owl, yes. We learned about owl sex that night. Doesn't sound pleasant.
Every single time I have a bad tendency of going to buy s'mores and making s'mores.
Never will forget announcing Kaysen's birth. And I think Pawpaw was the first one that we showed at the farm. And then Charlie shortly after.
There's those puppy dogs.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
A new one? That one you're getting the sugar from? Yeah, that one's new. Wait a second, there's 3 of them all of a sudden.
That's Dingo, he's rotting his elders.
He looks like a dingo.
We all even get in here.
Really?
He went, read.
Huh?
You did better than Case, though.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi, by the way.
And bringing Kaysen back to the farm to meet his great grandparents for the first time was a super special thing.
We're at the farm, and we're gonna meet Great Pawpaw for the first time. Oh, look, there he is.
Hey, my buddy. Hey.
Bye, Papa.
You want me to help?
Camera.
Yeah.
He recognizes the phones, but
Oh, he
he
recognizes.
hasn't quite figured out the camera.
You're a sweet boy. I need some shoes on this cold weather out here in Alabama.
Say, not like where we just come from.
I bet not.
Is he cold?
Oh, no, he's not warm. So.
Hey! Hey!
Did you ever play in the creek?
One time, I forgot to bring my put on suntan lotion, and I got burnt to a crisp.
Out of all the times you were at the farm, you only played in the creek once?
It was cold. That creek was cold. See, the thing about guys and cold water, it shrivels up.
Your nipples?
Yeah, let's go with that.
We'd start around that bend and down a little ways. There's Horseshoe Bend. And back down in Horseshoe Bend, there used to be a place that Mom and them would swim at as kids because it was a little deeper right there. But we would start just past Horseshoe Bend on the little floaties and float around down through here and under this bridge and all the way down to where Jen says the rapids are.
We would get floaties and go up at the horseshoe and get in there and float down until the rapids.
I don't know, just spending time with family there, playing in the creek, whether it's with you, Jen, Kaysen. Well, Katie's been in, I don't really remember Katie playing in the creek. She's walked in there, but That's besides the point. Gosh, what else? I don't know, just hanging out with everybody.
And that's where Bo tried to climb on my floaty with me when we were doing the lazy river the first time. He got to a deep spot and suddenly he couldn't touch, and he tried to climb on my floaty, and I didn't, of course, want to come off my floaty in a deep spot. So then there was just screaming and splashing, and it was just a whole big thing. But it was a very fun time, obviously. Somebody changed the flow of the creek at one point, because it used to flow further out into this, and it would the flow of it changed so it was closer to Nanny and Pawpaw's house. It was probably Nanny and Pawpaw. Changed it so that it flowed closer to their house so they could hear the water feature. It's always nice and cold, always. In the heat of the summer, when it's 130 degrees out here, you come get in this creek, it's always ice cold, and it's amazing. And of course, fishing with the cane poles in the little hole there, swimming in the same hole. It's probably not a good idea to swim and fish at the same time because you're not going to catch much, but we do swim and fish in that same little hole. Where I was standing out right out there is a place where we used to pull the carts through. And that was always exciting as a kid to pull the carts through there, because you felt like you were like or at least I felt cool driving the cart through the creek. But turns out it's not good for the carts, so we stopped doing that after a while. But yeah. So I'm just gonna dip my toes in one last time here. Well, hopefully not the last time. The last time for now.
You talking about this Leviathan?
Yep, you got you one, huh?
Yep.
Gonna throw him back?
Where'd that worm go? Give me my worm back! You got teeth, you little snot.
All right, Jen, your turn.
Want a worm? Worm for you. Hey, calm down. I'm taking you that direction. Oh.
Did you just throw him on the ground, John?
I had just quit my job at Walmart and gotten the job with the post office, and we went and decided to make a quick trip out to Alabama in between. And during that trip is when we had like the biggest snowstorm like ever in Alabama. God, that was so much fun though, because Charlie and Brittany accidentally ended up getting stuck at the farm, and we ended up making snowballs and doing candy cane cookies, and Casey and Jen and Mom and George and I even made a late night run over to Nanny and Pawpaw's to make sure they were doing okay with the generator out and all this.
There's the time that we got snowed in, and Jen threw a snowball at Kaysen, hit Kaysen with a snowball. It wasn't my fault. She shouldn't have been aiming at me if Kaysen was that close. And almost hit Blaze with a snowball, a big snowball. We made a snowman, it fell over. Yeah, that was a fun time.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh gosh, me and Jen running around in the backyard like morons, acting like children. Oh man, that was fun. Jen hitting Kaysen in the head, though that really shouldn't be a funny moment, but I don't know. I guess it was just kind of in the moment kind of thing. Our snowman, Bob. Was it Bob or Fred? I don't remember, but we built our snowman. Then our snowman fell.
It was a tragedy.
It was a tragedy. And then me and Charlie Ray trying to go home and him almost murdering both of us. And us having to turn around and go back.
So the update for the things we couldn't film. Charlie and Brittany tried to go back to town.
Down that way.
Down that way. They got down there. There was a wrecker trying to pull another car out of the woods. It did something stupid, and they got stuck there for about 45 minutes. By that time, they'd lost their window of opportunity to get down south. So George and Mom had to go get them. So they went down, brought them back. Charlie got stuck up here. The way I hear it, he got stuck a couple of times, actually. But
George's big bad truck.
George has a big bad beastly truck.
Man, I guess the perks of being in the country, huh?
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Anyway, now we
The last time we went up to the farm, I think when Jen was watching the farm, it started like snowing up there, and me and Charlie Ray were joking around saying, hey, I hope we don't get snowed in again like the last time it snowed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Right. Who wants to go to work?
We need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 in each. Now we need 1.5 of that. Now there is one with a half. There's your half teaspoon in there.
Okay.
So just do 1 in each and then a half in each. You need a dash of salt. You know how much a dash is? A dash. All right, get 1 in the other one. There you go. Dash of salt. All right.
That's a good kid.
Now we're gonna add the flour while we mix it, and it gets kind of rough and dirty at this point. That's an auspicious start to this adventure.
Yeah,
I think I did that.
yeah.
I swear I did, and then it just came out.
All right, do you want to try it again? See if it works. Okay.
I think
Oh,
that's
leave the
fair.
sifter over here. Oh, we're gonna sift that. We're gonna shift a flour.
Oh, you can smell it. Brittany, did you enjoy making candy cane cookies for the first time?
It was fun. Look at my purple. I'm so proud of my purple that I made.
Mine? This one?
Your blue and green one.
Oh, this one.
One of these is covered in flour, isn't it?
That one's mine. I thought I put... Yeah, that one's
Be
mine.
careful, it's gonna be hot.
That one's Brittany.
Touch it. Touch it.
It is hot. I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
Gigi. Which one do you want?
We've no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And the fire is slowly dying. And my dear, we're still goodbye. But as long as you love me so, let it
I guess the time that I got married at the farm. I guess I should put that in there. That was a fun time. That was a great day.
Charlie's wedding was a lot of fun. Katie and I were in the middle of a cross-country move, and we stopped at the farm for 3 weeks to help get ready for Charlie's wedding. And that was all kinds of fun and nonsense. And we wrapped up Charlie's car in the frickin' saran wrap. I never will forget, because Katie and I worked so hard to pull Charlie and Brittany's wedding off, that after it was all over, Jen went and got wine coolers and stuck one in my hand and one in Katie's hand, and as soon as we'd finish it, she'd run and grab another one and stick it back in our hands.
Brittany, remember what we told you?
Yes.
I'll protect you.
All right. Go. Oh! Watch out for me. Get it. Charlie, that's right.
And fire! Oh.
This might take a second.
honey, you gangsta. George, please do it, George. Please do it, George. Yes. Oh no, Brittany, what'd you come back over here for?
Oh God, she's sweaty. Oh, who gave him scissors?
Jason, say bye-bye, Aunt Brittany. Bye, Uncle Charlie. Oh, the cans.
We literally set records at the farm. Pancho Villa, Papa's Texas Longhorn steer that he got after he was inspired to get one coming out to Colorado for me and Katie's wedding, ended up winning the Guinness World Record of longest horn spread on a steer living and longest horn spread on a steer ever. And so that was a crazy time in all our lives.
A small community near Goodwater, Alabama has made way for a big star.
He's a big baby.
Meet Pancho Villa, the Texas Longhorn who's hard to miss.
When he first showed up, his horns were only about 6 inches long on each side.
But now,
he is 10 foot 7.4 inches.
And that span was enough to break Guinness World Records. Pancho set the record for the longest horn spread on a living steer and longest horn spread on a steer ever. George Jones is the owner's son-in-law.
The only thing you have to be careful is the horns. If he gets a horse fly or something else and turns, you have to be careful the horns don't hit you in the head.
To give you an idea of how big this span is, it's twice the width of a concert grand piano, and it's wider than the Statue of Liberty's face.
I've seen a grand piano, and yes, it's definitely wider. He is getting almost as wide as the gate that's out there in front of the pasture.
Pancho's growth spurt isn't quite finished.
And as long as he is alive, the horns will keep growing.
Still proving to be a gentle giant and record breaker from tip to tip. In Clay County, Mary O'Connell.
Casey and Jen decided to get married at the farm as well, and when they did, Casey actually did something cool and made a treasure hunt for me, and that was super fun. We had a blast doing that. She has a gift for that sort of thing.
All right, Katie and I are about to hit the road back to Florida, and I have one more potential solve for Casey's treasure hunt. I feel like I've got to be close.
My name is John T. Ray, and I'm in Alabama celebrating my sister's wedding.
This is where we make our final stand.
While we're here, my sister has crafted an ingenious treasure hunt.
It's been taken, but I don't know if we're meant to take every line literally.
To find the treasure, we'll have to use all our wits and knowledge of the family farm to crack a masterfully written poem, all the while preparing for the wedding. It seems a monumental task for one weekend. Can we find the treasure of Kalita Valley? You are about to find out. Let's go on a treasure hunt.
Oh, I loved your guys' wedding too.
Casey and Jen's wedding, we had tacos. Oh, and there was the time the night before y'all's wedding, and I ate all of a whole half-gallon eggnog. I love eggnog. I cleared the room more than on more than one occasion. I love playing with the fire, especially during y'all's wedding, since it was like that nice, cool, brisk weather. I accidentally started a fire a couple times when I wasn't, well, see, Mom had told me to gather wood for the fire, and I thought she meant, gather the wood and start a fire, because usually every night during y'all's wedding we would start a fire and sit around and tell stories. So I thought she wanted me to gather wood and start a fire.
Yep. Reverend? Good evening. How are you, sir? May God bless you. Thank you.
It was a hard pill to swallow, hearing that property was going to be gone. Like I said, it had become a place of gathering, of friendship and fellowship and brotherhood. It's bittersweet because the memories that we made there didn't come from the farm itself. It came from us as people, who we are, and we're going to continue to get together and do things like that. But so much of who we are got poured into that property that it's hard to say goodbye to it.
This family's always been very welcoming, so. And you know, it's this family. We'll make memories wherever we go.
I'm gonna miss it, but the memories are fun. It's the memories that count. That's all I gotta say about that.
Not having anybody around. No neighbors, I think is what I'm gonna miss most. Being so far out in nature that you can look up at the stars with no light pollution and see all of them. See all of outer space. All the memories. Well, I guess those stay with us and we can always create new ones, but it was a great space for us, all of us, because there's so many, to be able to gather and enjoy spending time with each other.
We'll be fine though. I mean, we're a bunch of crazy folks and we make memories wherever we go and whatever we do, so no big deal. It's just, like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow. That little oasis out in Clay County is not part of our lives anymore.
Nothing. Go around the corner, show them the Harry Potter room. Harry Potter lived down there.
I just had a thought. Was it this bed we were supposed to get? Or we were supposed to get the two that are upstairs? This shower was the best. Do you ever shower in the shower?
No. It looks fancy though.
Yeah.
Doggy sugar. Doggy sugar.
If worse comes to worse, I might do it myself.
Casey no help.
Stand still.
Granny, sweet, you got
I'm just gonna do this.
Sweet.
I can get glasses.
Not making this any easier.
The chicken's in the top end, and Casey's going to reach under the chicken to see if the eggs have hatched.
Get me. That's such a fatherly instinct.
That's what he peeked me.
That's what John told me.